जाकी चैन नाम त्याये बिन नामे पूज न होए बिन नामे पूज न होए।
वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह।
Thank you, that sounded beautiful. If there's anybody sitting in the darbar who has yet to learn the Gurmat, that's okay, that's what we come here for, to learn, but you want to make sure that you learn that soon enough, learn how to say that. A very common greeting in our religion, in our Punjabi culture is Sat Sri Akal. Sat meaning truth, Sri meaning supreme, Akal is God. So when you say Sat Sri Akal, it's not a bad thing. But in Guru Darbar we say the Gurmat, the Vaiguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaiguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome back to another exciting, wonderful Sunday Youth and Family Darbar. If there are any kids sitting on that side, you can stay there, I guess. But I would encourage you next time to come sit right here amongst the wonderful family that we have here. If you can read the banner, it is a Sunday Youth and Family Darbar, and it's really nice. And the only one like it. Actually, there's 3 darbars that happen. The kind of darbar that we have here, there's only 2 like it in all of British Columbia. So that's why we have the word family there. Your moms and dads can sit with you, they can support you. ਜਦੋਂ ਮਾਪਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕੰਟਰੋਲ ਹੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਨਿਆਣੇ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਥੋੜਾ ਨਿਆਣਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਮਾਪੇ ਕੋਲ ਬੈਠੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਆ ਸਰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਲੇ ਗਏ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਬੈਠੇ ਨੇ ਇਹਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਅਸਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਨਿਆਣੇ ਨੂੰ ਖੁਦ ਪਤਾ ਵੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਮੰਮੀ ਡੈਡੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਬੈਠੇ ਨੇ ਇਹਦਾ ਹੋਰ ਕੀ ਲਾਭ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਘਰੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਬੇਟਾ ਕੀ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਅੱਜ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਉਹ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਕਰਕੇ ਬੀਜੀ ਜਾਂ ਪੈਂਜੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਬੋਲਣ ਵਾਲਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੀ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਹੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਘਰੇ ਵੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ So, translation, it's really nice when your parents come and join us. And if there's anybody sitting on that side, that's totally fine. I'm sure you can see everything. But I do want you to know, sitting over here is an absolutely different experience. Front row seats, better communication. So please, if there is anybody on that side who's a youth, try sitting over here next time. All right, our topic for today, on December the 8th, if you will recall, we talked about the Sikh Gurdwara. And if you remember, we only got halfway through that topic. I would like to finish that today so that we can understand what Gurdwara is. Now we continue. Now, a lot of you have been coming to Gurdwara ever since you were like little babies, and you're used to the regular way we do things, but I want you to understand why is it that we do everything that we do. Because somebody just might ask you one day, why do you guys do this? Who are you, Sikh people, and why do you do this? And you want to know yourself. Can you imagine there's some people who come to Gurdwara for years and years and they do the same thing, look at Matha Tek and they get the prasad. And when you ask them, why do you do that? They're like, I don't know. I've been doing it ever since I was a kid. And my parents made me do it, now I'm an adult, I make my kids do it, but we really don't know why. So we want to make sure you have the answer to that. Look at this, on entering the Darbar Hall, that's what this is, this whole place, it's not a big room, it's a Darbar, it's a court of a king. Like in your house, if you build a really big house and you have a really big room, you can't call that a Darbar just because it's big. A Darbar was a name, a word that's reserved for kings. Raja da Darbar, so Guru Granth Sahib is our king, this is his Darbar. So it says here, Sikhs walk slowly. You don't run in here because you just like can't wait to get the prasad. You walk slowly. Okay, Matha Tekana, that's what we call. Matha Tekana, how do you say that in English? We bow, to bow down. And we do that out of respect. Okay? And it's look what it says here. I use my laser pointer because I want to. It says, and touch their forehead to the ground. You must do that. I want you to know right now. Kali na karya karo. When you matha take your time and you have to make sure your forehead touches the ground. It's really important that you do that. Okay? Otherwise, we have to call it something else. It's your matha, and we make sure we bow down properly. Don't just like do it halfway. Do it properly. As people bow, they place an offering respectfully before Guruji. You've seen that. Most of you come in with your 25 cents, your loonies and your toonies. That's totally fine. But you can offer flowers, by the way, this is just for me. If you want to bring Guruji flowers, try to bring beautiful, fresh flowers. Not that I have anything against the plastic flowers. It's just that plastic flowers are fake. And our Guru is real. So that's not cool. Let me give you an example. Your mom and dad come home. They say, "Beta, my iPod le andar na ma." You're like, "Cool, iPod." And you go running and your parents give you a fake iPod. How does that make you feel? Honestly, what if your mom says, "Beta, roti tera," and you come and she gives you roti, it's like plastic. You're like, "I can't bite this." Right? Plastic roti. Right? Like, this is, you're like, what kind of a joke is this, Mom? I'm hungry and you give me plastic. How do you think Guru Granth Sahib Ji feels? Our Guru, and you walk in there with these beautiful, sparkling plastic flowers. And Guruji's like, "Wait a minute. Do you think I'm fake?" So tell me something. Either we think Guru Granth Sahib Ji is fake, or we just think whatever. You know what? Actually, we're pretty clever, right? Because if you bring new flowers, what happens in a week? What happens to flowers? They die, and then guess what? We have to bring new flowers again and again. So we're like, you know what? Who's got the time? Let's just give Guruji plastic flowers once and for all, and they'll stay there forever, and we'll all live happily ever after. It doesn't work that way. Remember, Guruji is real. He needs real flowers. Hope I didn't offend anybody. So you may bring money, flowers, or even words of thanks. But just to let you know, the money that you put in there, when you put the money in the box, please do not ever think you're actually giving something to the Guru. Like, "Here, Guruji, I've given you $5, and because of that, you're $5 richer now." No, Guruji. See the money. If you have like $100 bill in your hand and you're about to put in the box, can I ask you a question? Do you know where that money actually came from? Do you know who gave that money to you? It's actually Guruji who gave you that money. Everything that you have is given to you by your Guru. Okay, Guruji gives me money, then I give it back. What kind of a game is that? Why can't I keep it? The reason that you matha take and you give to the Guru, number one, you're saying, "Thank you, Guruji, Dhanavad. You allowed me to come here and do darshan." That's a way of saying thank you. But guess what? Guruji wants you and I to get into the habit of giving. Because we live in a world, how do you guys say that? You live on the playground, give me, never get, right? This is mine, my money, my iPod, my kapde, I'm not going to lend you my shirt, my hot pink socks, whatever it is you guys fight over. You're like, "I'm not going to share." Guruji says, no, that's not a good Gursikh. He wants you to get into the habit of sharing. So he says, the money that I gave you, I need you to learn to give some back. Otherwise, Guruji really doesn't need your money. Because he gave it to you. He has lots of money. So what it is you're saying, "Thank you for letting me see you," and we okay? So, no more plastic flowers. After bowing, people sometimes walk around Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Let's see if anybody's going to do that. Okay, awkward. Okay. So after bowing, people sometimes walk around Guru Granth Sahib Ji in a clockwise manner. That means they go to the left. This is called doing parkarma, right? And we don't have any here. This is called, can you say parkarma? Parkarma? Okay, this is walking around in a circle around a certain point. And for us, we do this to show respect to Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Has anybody ever wondered, when people matha take, why do some people walk around, others do not? Why do they do that? Are they trying to show off like they're special? Are they trying to kill time? Why are they walking around in circles? Because they're saying, "Guruji, you are the center of my life, of my thought, in my heart, of my actions. You're the center of everything." And then we walk around with respect. That's a very good thing to do. Like, some people don't do it, that's fine. We're not going to force you. But it says, it shows Guruji, that Guruji, you are the center of my universe. Guruji is most important. Okay, next. Okay, after bowing, matha tek kutubaj, we sit down in Sangat quietly. Do you get that, boys and girls? Quietly, without disturbing anybody. Usually, men sit on one side and women sit on the other side. Chonkada marke, right? We never want to point our feet towards Guruji. That's disrespectful. We want to practice sitting in a chonkada, cross-legged, crisscross, applesauce. Now, those of you who come to the Gurmat Center, you will know that in Punjabi classes, apane thile baith ke Gurmukhi set mein 2 ghante. And there's a reason for that. Because we could get desks. Desk people badi baat nahi. But the reason we have you sitting on the floor is so that you learn and practice it, sit in the chonkada. फिर गुरुद्वारे आके नियाणे की शिकायत होंदी है कहते सी गुरुद्वारे जाके राज ही नहीं सब तो बह नहीं होंदा क्योंकि वो अभ्यास नहीं करते there's no practice but you guys practice you come every week you do path at home good for you talking or whispering is not allowed but I can do that because I'm talking to you otherwise when you're sitting in Sangat you're not supposed to sit there and talk and would you believe I have seen people in the Guru Darbar and you perhaps have seen me do this so I need to address this issue in Guru Darbar on their iPod. Now look, I've got a phone and perhaps somebody has seen me in Guru Darbar. You'll be like, oh look at that, BG's giving us a big lecture and he's on his phone as well. I have to tell you, the phones these days are like computers. If you ever catch me on my phone, I want to be really open about this. I'm not playing, what's that game? I'm not playing any games on my phone, any apps or anything like that. What I'm doing is this. I'm only doing two things. Either I'm texting somebody who's supposed to speak here and they haven't showed up on time and I'm really getting worried. I'm like, where are you? You start in 5 minutes. Or I'm looking at Gurbani because I need it for the presentation. That's the only reason. So I'm not judging anybody who's on their iPod, but with you kids, please, when you come to Guru Darbar, being on an iPod and ignoring the Kirtan and the Katha is just as bad as whispering and talking. So keep those electronics in your pockets. I've even taken some away before. Now, men and women, boys and girls usually sit separately, but of course because it's a family darbar, we're all sitting here together with our families. Now the reason boys and girls and men and women sit separately is because it just allows you to concentrate on the Gurbani and the Simran. Your concentration is much higher when the genders are separated. I think you guys get that. Like in my class, in my Punjabi class, when kids come in and they sit down, it just automatically happens. It just, most of the time, like all the girls are on one side and boys are on the other side. It's much easier to learn that way. You're more comfortable. It's like playing sports at school, right? You know, when just girls play together, it's more comfortable that way. So we sit separately so we can focus on the Gurbani and the Kirtan, and it's better for us that way. Hey, we got all check marks. Good job, boys and girls. Beautiful. That means you can actually explain this to anybody who asks. Good job. Let's continue. Okay, then we have the Khanda. Bolo Khanda. Khanda. The Khanda is the Sikh symbol. It is found on the flag that can be seen outside of Gurdwara. So, I repeat, it's a Sikh symbol, not a Jat Punjabi symbol. Not I just bought a Hummer and I'm going to put the Khanda all over my car because I'm tough and I wear a muscle shirt and I like driving around with really loud Punjabi music. That's not what the Khanda is for. If anybody is doing that, I do not apologize. It is a Sikh symbol. This is not a Punjabi symbol, right? I have to mention that. Now, where can you find it? No, not on the Hummer. You can find it outside of Gurdwara, and this is what it symbolizes. Freedom. The Khanda symbolizes, there's going to be the questions by the way. Freedom. It symbolizes justice, equality, and independence, meaning the Sikh nation is free. We are under nobody's control except Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. So that's what the Khanda looks like, the blue, and you can find it on the Nishan side. And then it says, can you see any other Sikh symbols used in the Khanda? Now if you quickly look at the Khanda, there we have one sword over here, and we have another sword on the other side. We have two swords. And then look, we have the chakra here, that round circle, and in the middle, we've got the double-edged sword. That means on both sides of the sword, it's got a double edge, right? That side is sharp, and then that's steady, and that side is sharp. 3 swords and a chakra. Do you know what that means, very quickly? That these 2 swords, they stand for, you'll be hearing in Punjabi, they call it Meri Piri, Sant Sipahi, Shakti Bhakti. What it means is this, as Guru Sikhs, we have been told that you're going to live in this world and you have 2 very big responsibilities. Your first responsibility is to your religion and be strong spiritually. Do lots of Path and Simran, right? Bolo Vaheguru. The other sword represents, while you do your Simran and your Vaheguru, you have to live in this world and you have to take care of the world as well. You can't just say, you know what, I'm going to sit in my house, live in my closet, do lots of Vaheguru Simran, never going to go out, not going to go shopping, not going to go to superstore, not even going to go to a sale, nothing. I'm just going to sit here and not going to talk to anybody. Just be by myself. Guru Nanak would say, no, that's not good. You live in the world, you need to be a part of the world, because if you do so much Bhakti and Simran, that means you're a good person. Good people should not be locked up in closets. If somebody's a bad person, they should stay in their closet and just stay there all the time. Right? For example, let me give you an example. When your mommy collects all the garbage in the house and she puts it in the garbage can? I mean, that's where she puts it, right? A garbage can? Have you ever seen your mom collect all the garbage? You're already laughing because I'm going to say something. Your mommy collects all the garbage and then she goes outside the house and just spreads it all over the lawn, on the road. And somebody walks up and says, "What are you doing?" "I'm spreading the good news." They're like, "You're spreading garbage." Garbage should be kept in one spot, covered. Nobody should see it. You understand? So just like that, if you're doing lots of simran and bhakti and you're like a good person, you shouldn't be hiding in your closet. You should go out there and meet people and talk to people and be a positive member of society. And if you're a bad person, well, you can stay in the closet. We will not miss you. What does that round circle represent? Two things. A round circle, first of all, means God. Do you know that circle has no beginning and it has no end? It's like a circle, just like a kada. Somebody says, "Show me the beginning of my kada." You can't. It's like a circle. There's no beginning, there's no end. That is God. No beginning, no end. There's another reason for the circle. That circle is you and me. It's the Khalsa nation. It's all of us, the universal brotherhood. And how did we come together? Our birth happened to this thing right here, Khanda, when Guru Gobind Singh Ji made us into the Khalsa. Let's move forward. Okay, Kara Prasad is a special food made for the service in the Gurdwara. It's made in the kitchen and brought into the prayer hall. Right? We're using words that non-Punjabis would understand. Brought into the darbar. Then it is blessed with a karpan or short sword and offered to the congregation. Did you guys know that? I don't know if you've ever seen this, but the prasad that we get, Kara Prasad, is actually, the food is blessed with a karpan. And I will take a day out and we'll totally explain this whole thing to you. But the food is blessed. We're not the only religion that blesses its food. Christians have food that is blessed as well, other religions. So because the food is blessed, that is when you take your prasad and when you eat it, it's very important that you're respectful and you sit down and eat it, right? It's not like popcorn. See, prasad is not popcorn. It's not Skittles, right? You just throw it in your pocket, take it out whenever you want, eat it. Yeah, well, this is great. I'm going to save half for in the car. Prasad, badi pavitra cheez hai. Karpan pet hoya, seedh prasad hai. It's not like pudding, right? It's prasad. The word prasad means kirpa. So when you take that prasad, I'm telling you now, sit down with respect and eat the prasad. Don't eat it standing up. Anak prakar bhojan bahu kiye bahu binjan mishtaye kari pak saal soch pavitra hun lavo po harga. That karpan, when it touches the food becomes blessed. And they're telling you how to make that in a large bowl. Mix equal amounts of sugar, water, butter, plain flour. There's way more to it. Don't just go home and think you can do that in Prasad. Not going to work. There's other things you need to do. In my Sikh studies class on Fridays, anybody sitting here, I totally plan on teaching you guys how to make prasad. I know how to make prasad. And it's wonderful to know. So you don't have to always ask your parents, you can do it too. With their permission. Why do you think sharing food is so important to Sikhs? We were born to share. I want you to know that. We were born to serve. We were born to share. If there's ever a moment in your life where you're not willing to share something, you need to ask yourself, what am I and why am I being so greedy like this? Share everything that you have. Langar. A special meal that has been blessed is served in the Langar hall at the end. We're all going to go downstairs up in Langar Shakanji. There's cake today. It says Sikhs and non-Sikhs are welcome and people sit on the floor to show humility and that everyone is equal in the eyes of God and to show respect for the blessed food. Okay, that is why we sit on the floor. And I know there's Gurdwaras in the world that have chairs and all that, and people sit on the chairs and they eat, and they keep their shoes on as well, and their heads are uncovered. Okay, I'm going to ask you a simple question. I don't want to get into, I already told you this before, last time. I do not want to get into the tables and chairs just yet, because we don't have enough time. I want to take a whole debat and totally explain to you guys. I have so much trust in you guys. You Canadian-born kids are very logical. You're going to get it. But I'll tell you one thing. I'm going to ask you one question. Say yes or no to my question. Do you have a kitchen in your house?
Yes.
Okay. Do you wear your shoes in your kitchen?
No.
Okay, downstairs the Langar hall. Whose kitchen is that? The Guru Granth Sahib Ji's kitchen. Should you wear your shoes in Guru Granth Sahib Ji's Langar?
No.
If you wear your shoes in your house, what happens to you? Now you all yell out, Karshi. right? Something bad happens when you wear your shoes in your kitchen, right? You know what happens, right? Your mom uses something, whatever's closest to her, she'll grab it. And she'll be like, don't you ever do that again. This is our kitchen, this is where we eat. So, how in the world people actually go into Guru's kitchen with their shoes on? Now, the sitting on the chairs thing, we'll talk about that later, but it shows everybody's equal, the food is blessed, and we're equal in the eyes of God. Now look what this says, the meal is vegetarian. You can go to any Gurdwara in the entire world, and anywhere in the world, all the food is always vegetarian, meaning vegetables. You won't find any meat in there, right? No Big Macs, no beef, no chicken, no fish, no meat product, no eggs, nothing like that. Now the question is, do you think this is because they don't want to make anybody feel bad, or just because Sikhs are vegetarians? So the first one is A and the second one is B. A or B? B. Yeah, it's B. Sikhs are vegetarians. Now, if you are a member of our Sangat right now and you do eat meat, I want you to know that soon, one of these days, we're going to have a really nice talk, very open, friendly discussion as to why it is that Guruji and Gurdwaras don't encourage the eating of meat at all. It's just a big no-no. So we'll talk about that, and I want you to know that, right? For some people get all defensive, it's like a touchy topic. No, we're really nice, but I will give you hard scientific evidence, and I'll talk to you about this. There's about 5 or 6 really, really huge, big reasons why we really shouldn't eat meat, and I'll tell it to you from the Gura perspective. If I stand up here like a Punjabi, like a Sikh and I start telling you the other perspective, you'll be like, oh, that guy, what are you talking about? I'll give you all different perspectives. You'll be like, oh wow, I didn't know that. But the langar is vegetarian. Okay.
This is the last page.
Okay, service to others. Ramadan. Seva. Can you say seva?
Seva.
Remember the definition of the word seva, because your parents will tell you, Gurdwara mein seva kar lige, main teri seva karni hai, tera daddy seva karda. What really is seva? Here is the definition. It means selfless service. Look, myself. I am myself, selfless. That means when you do seva, you're not doing it for yourself, you're doing it for other people. You know when you go to the gym and you exercise? Are you doing that for your mom and your dad? So you go to the gym, you lose 5 pounds, you come home, you're like, Mom, did you lose a weight? She's like, what are you talking about? You're the one doing exercise. Like, if I eat healthy, that's not going to make you healthy. If I lose weight, you don't lose weight. That's something we do for ourselves. But when you do service for somebody else, and you want no reward in return, that's called selfless seva. You know, at home, your parents are like, and you're like, okay, I'll do it, but what will I get? You know, you're always making those deals with your parents. What will I get in return? That's not seva. That is not seva. Seva is when you serve without wanting anything in return. You just like, Guruji, I'm going to do seva because I want your pyar. Here's some examples of seva. Cleaning the Gurdwara, preparing the food in the langar hall. How many of you have went into the kitchen and stood there and watched the mommies and the daddies and the people do seva? How many people have actually stood there? Wonderful, hands down. I don't know if you've noticed this or not. I haven't noticed anything. I'm just going to be very gentle in my words. I'll just say this much. Actually, when you do seva in the Gurdwara, it doesn't matter where you do it, you should always be doing Satnam Vaheguru, the jap. Always. Remembering God when you make that food. Because that food turns into Amrit, and that food is actually for the langar. So when we stand there and we're like making the payday and all that, and we're talking about like, I don't know what's on TV, or we're talking about, hey, do you know where so-and-so is? Oh, I love your soup. Hey, how's your family doing? That's not really appropriate, actually, in the Gurdwara. We should just say Fateh, and then start doing Satnam Vaheguru, the job while making the prashad. And sometimes when I walk in langar hall, the sound is so high, because people are having a good old time making the prashad, but then they're talking about other things. It takes time, you have to make a habit. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying it takes time to make the habit. It's not easy, yes sir?
It says 21 out of 20. Yeah.
What does that mean?
That means that there's 20 pages and this is 21st page.
That is an interesting observation. Thank you, Sukhbir. I do not have a prize for you. Visiting the sick and needy. Did you know that's a seva? You go to the hospital and you sit down and you talk to somebody, right? Giving money to charity. Okay. As Sikhs, are we allowed to give money to, like, the Red Cross?
Yes.
Yes or no answers. Are we allowed to give money to the Red Cross?
Yes.
BC Children's Hospital?
Yes.
Cancer Agency?
Yes.
Yes. give money to the Vancouver Canucks?
Yes.
Isn't it a charity? They make millions of dollars. So, yes, you can give money to any charity. You don't have to just come to the Gurdwara. You can give it, like I like to donate to the Children's Hospital and other places. It's nice. Well, that's what I mean by taking part in your community. Okay, which do you think is the most effective form of seva? I think they're all good. And I'll tell you one more thing. When you learn, when you're at school and you learn your ABC, 1, 2, 3, and then you graduate, you go to university, you get a degree, what happens after that, usually? After you do all your padai, what happens after that? Front row, we don't have the microphones yet. What happens?
Job.
You get a job. And so somebody could say to you, Jitni ki padai ki tiya? It's to teach you, give you knowledge, information, education, but at the end, it's going to also help you get a job. That's the end result of education. You're sitting in Guru Darbar, you're learning, and you're learning week after week. What for? The reason you learn in Gurudwara is so when you leave this building, you can take that knowledge with you and make the world a better place. What do you think would have happened if Guru Nanak told his parents, I'm just going to stay right here in Lebanon. Not going to go anywhere. I will talk to all the people in the Raipodi Dalwandi, but I'm not going to go all over the place. Nobody would have learned the message of truth. Guru Nanak says that's your job now. That is your job and your job and your job. Gurmat prapat karke baad duniya mein jaake, we have to help the world. You don't just do seva in a Gurdwara, that's cheap. You learn how to do seva and then you go out into the world and you serve others. I love doing seva at the Gurdwara. Go outside, somebody asks for help, you're like, forget it, do it yourself. I'm not going to help you. Charity begins at home. You know how when you guys go in public, you're like, oh, guri, very respectful. You go to Rishtadar, you sit there on the sofa and they're like, and your parents are like, yes, they are. But inside they're like, no, they're really rotten actually. They're like, as he can't exactly Sharmandi, the Rishtadar like, and you know, then your mom looks at your dad, she's like, they have no idea what they're talking about. Right? That's like faking people out. We can't do that when we come to Gurdwara and you know we sit there like, oh I love Guruji and I'm sitting in a chokra, I'm a guri and I learned all this seva. And then when you go to school or when you go to your home and you start talking to your brothers and sisters, what do you guys say? Forget it. And you guys you see bad words like shut up and stuff like that. What happened to your seva now? We to Langaran seva kiti and all the parents are like, dekho bachchi kinni sehani, 2 घंटे ने प्रसाद की सेवा की थी. When you go home you're like, I'm not gonna pick up my bucket. You do it. So why does that happen? Gurdwara tusi santa kare jaake tusi more bad jane hain. That is not right. So when you come to Gurdwara jitna hon thodi behavior hai kinna badhiya tusi tike hoye hain. Koi nahi kisi ne kuch kehta kare jaake bhi karya karo. Then we can say tusi kuch sikhya. Otherwise it's just like, what have you been doing for the last hour and a half? Being a goody. And the last thing is, what is important about a Gurdwara? Check this out, there's a beautiful list. Seva, Simran, Sangat, Kirtan, Katha, Gurbani, check, we already have that. A community center with internet access and computers, so kids can actually learn. We don't have that yet. Classrooms, this Gurdwara has 2. Yes, a $12 million Gurdwara, and we have 2 classrooms. A little bit of sarcasm there. Library. When's the last time you signed out a book at the Gurdwara? Put your hand up. Aww, poor kids. Well, it's not your fault. The truth is the Gurdwara doesn't really have a library. Gymnasium. When's the last time you and your friends got together, you did Simran for 10 minutes and then you went on the court, had a beautiful basketball game in the Gurdwara gymnasium? Put up your hand. Oh, sorry, you don't have a gymnasium. Am I making you feel bad? My message is really not for you. For other people. Punjabi language classes, okay, we have some of those, and youth programs, and we're trying to get those happening for you. I had a Babaji come up to me a few years ago, and he was quite upset because children in the Gurdwara parking lot were playing. They were playing some sort of sport, and this is what he said to me. He says, Gurdwara is not the place for children to play. And I didn't actually talk to him about this. I just went and I found some of my buddies and then we talked about this and we said, you know what? This Gurdwara right inside here, the Guru Darbar, you do not play in the Gurdwara. In the Langar Hall, you do not play. If children get together and there's proper supervision and they're playing sports in a Gurdwara which is going to make you healthy, there's nothing wrong with that. Did you know our second Guru? He used to have wrestling competitions. There's nothing wrong with being healthy, mind, body, and soul. So I'm going to end it there. Oh, we have another one? Okay, I have to end it there.
पूजा की